周点传师、田点传师、蔡点传师，各位学长，大家好，阿弥。咱今仔暗时现在咱的蔡点传师要继续甲咱继续储备讲解太上清净经的内容。Master John, Master Tian, and Master Tsai, and to all Taoists, good evening. Tonight, our Master Tsai will once again provide us with her compassionate guidance for the continuation of the meaning of the scripture of purity and stillness, or in Chinese, 太上清净经。咱现在来邀请咱的蔡典禅师慈悲甲咱示导。Now let us invite our Master Tsai for her compassionate guidance.
各位道亲好阿弥。咱头先吼感谢三宝安的道亲吼，安尼转来这个 room 大家做伙来开班。
Good evening, everybody. First of all, we want to thank our Taoqing from Zamboanga who are here now with us, joining us in our Zoom lectures.
感谢天文师德，感谢祖师皇族，感谢师尊师庙大德，感谢老先人甲各位点传师慈悲栽培，会友今仔有这个机会，踮咧遮甲各位道亲做伙来学习《太上清净经》最后一段。
Thank you to Heaven's grace and to the teacher's virtue. Thank you to the compassion of our Si Zun and Si Mu, and to our Lao Qianren. And also thank you to all the Tian Chuan Si for giving us tonight this chance to discuss with everybody. And also thank you to all the Taoqing who are here tonight, joining us in our Zoom lecture. Tonight, we are going to discuss again the Tai Sang Qing Jing Jing.
那么咱一道来看咱这个太上清净经今仔日的迄个投影片 PPT。
So let us now look at the PPT, the PowerPoint of our Tai Sang Qing Jing Jing.
好，咱先甲吼，先用迄个闽南话，甲用国语吼，甲伊念一摆吼。因为咱这个是要按正吼拜礼的时阵，吼，咱读经班的时阵，大家做伙来伴诵的，大家做伙来念的。
So our Tranquility will read first for us the Tai Sang Qing Jing Jing in the vernacular, and also in the Mandarin dialect, because we are going to start our discussion of the scripture of the purity and stillness in our Tuesday's Sutra reading class. So we have to listen very carefully at the pronunciation of each character.
念掉这以后，咱再来解说吼，最后一段的意思。
So after our Tian Chuan Si has recited the whole sutra, the whole scripture, we will start with the discussion of our last portion.
好，咱今摆来看投影片。许我形容吼，咱人话闽南语先念一摆吼，咱咧学闽南语的吼，再甲迄个音大家甲小记起来。
So our Tian Chuan Si will first read it in the vernacular pronunciation. So those who want to memorize it or to read it in the vernacular dialect, please listen carefully.
太上清净经，老君曰：大道无形，生育天地；大道无情，运行日月；大道无名，中养万物。我不知其名，功名曰道。夫道者，有清有浊，有动有静，天清地浊，天动地静，男清女浊，男动女静，降本流发，理生万物。 清者作之源，动者静之基。人灵上清净，天地悉皆归。夫人心好清，离心了之；人心好静，离欲堪之。上灵堪其欲，离心自静；清其心，离心自清。自然六欲不生，三毒消灭。所以不能者，为心未停，欲未肯也。能肯之者，内观其心，心无其心；外观其行，行无其行；万观其物，物无其物。三者既无，为现而空。观空亦空，空无所空。所空既无，无无亦无。无无既无，淡然常寂。寂无所寂。欲气能生，欲其不生。即是真正，真常应物，真常得性，常应常静，常清净义。如此清净，则入真道。意入真道，名为得道。虽名得道，实无所得。为化众生，名为得道。令我知者，可传心道。罗君曰：上师无精，下师好精。上德不德，下德积德。积足之者，不明道德。众生所以不得真道者，唯有妄心。亦有妄心，即见其神；亦见其神，即着万物；亦着万物，即生贪求；亦生贪求，即是烦恼。烦恼妄想，忧苦身心，便造作欲。流浪生死，上沉苦海。因识真道，真常之道。我者自得，得我道者，上清净义。像我用闽南话甲伊念一摆咯，我来咱刷落去，就较念较紧诶，用国语念来，咱看头一张吼。太上清净经，老君曰：大道无形，生育天地；大道无情，运行日月；大道无名，长养万物。吾不知其名，强名曰道。 夫道者，有清有浊，有动有静，天清地浊，天动地静，男清女浊，男动女静，降本流末，而生万物。清者浊之源，动者静之基。能人常清净，天地悉皆归。夫人神好清，而心扰之；人心好静，而欲牵之。常能遣其欲，而心自静；诚其心，而神自清。自然六欲不生，三毒消灭。所以不能者，为心未成，欲未全也。能遣之者，内观其心，心无其心；外观其行，行无其行；远观其物，物无其物。三者既无，为见于空。观空亦空，空无所空，所空即无，无无亦无，无无即无。湛然常寂，寂无所寂。欲岂能生？欲既不生，即是真寂。真常应物，真常得性，常应常静，常清净矣。如此清净，渐入真道。既入真道，名为得道。虽名得道，实无所得。为化众生，名为得道。能悟之者，可传圣道。老君曰：上士无争，下士好争。上得不得，下得直得。执着之者，不明道德。众生所以不得真道者，唯有妄心。既有妄心，即惊其神；既惊其神，即着万物；既着万物，即生贪求；既生贪求，即是烦恼。烦恼妄想，忧苦身心，便遭着入流浪生死。常成苦海，永失真道。真常之道，悟者自得，得悟道者，常清净矣。咱过来刷落去来讲，这个最后一段上士无争，下士好争。上得不得，下得直得。执着之者，不明道德。咱来讲这段。那么，来。
So now let us discuss this this portion which says that the high virtuous person does not compete with others, but the low virtuous person loves to compete with others. Those who possess the highest virtue do not flaunt or show off their virtue, whereas those who possess the lesser virtue will cling to their virtue. And those who cling and attach to their virtue do not really understand the true meaning and nature of the virtue.
这个上士无争上诸无争下士好争，下士好争这两字书里咧就是讲有道德的人，士就是有道德的人。
And the word 士 and 上士无争 means a person with great virtue.
下士好争这个士就是较无道德的
And when and in 下士 the 士 there refers to person with low virtue.
那么这里真呢，吼，这上至无真，下至好真，吼，这里真呢，咱就爱把登去咱迄个清净经迄个经理。
And the word 真 to discuss it, we have to go back to the to one of the character of the title of the 清净经, the 净 in the 清净经.
咱看迄个字伫咱的右上角呀，吼，咱来看卖，伊到手边是青，青天的青，吼，青色的青，正手边是真，吼，就是这个。
So let us look at the red character at the right right upper corner. The word 真 composes of two words. One on the left side is 清, which is green, and on the right side it is 真, which is to argue.
迄个吼，咱就看这个经理吼，经并不是讲咱耳孔无听到声音吵叫做经，不是。这个经理是讲咱的内心的迄个天心甲人心无点咩挣扎，无点咩争斗。
So the word 静 doesn't mean that when we do not hear anything from our ears, that when our surrounding is silent, we are already 静, or we are already on a state of being very silent. The meaning of 静 here is that our conscience or our heaven's heart and our human heart are not fighting with each other.
这静的这意思是安尼啦，那么一个静的人咧，上主的伊无静，不是干那静啊尔，伊嘛是讲伊袂爱去甲别人有这争执。
So when we say a person has obtained 静, it doesn't mean that he is a person who doesn't want to talk, or he's just sitting still and is being very silent. It means that he is a person that doesn't want to argue or to have any arguments with any other person.
那么下士好静，下士好真就是讲较无道德嘅人咧，伊较爱甲人安尼争强斗胜，要甲人争甲赢，要甲人拼甲赢。
So 下士好真 means a person with low virtue loves to argue with other people, loves to compete with other people.
那么刷落去，这上德不德，下德直德这句话咧，讲上德不德，下德积德，这句话就是讲，甲有迄个高尚道德嘅人咧，伊咧做好代志咧，伊拢对你嘅真心去做，伊袂有回报。下德积德咧，就是讲较无道德嘅人咧，伊敢若做一点点好代志，伊就希望讲有回报，是讲希望有迄个。做善的迄个名，希望有善名。
So those who possess the highest virtue do not flaunt or display or show off their virtue, which means that when a person has great virtue, he will do good deeds, and these good actions comes straight naturally from the heart, without asking for anything or expecting anything in return. Whereas those who possess the lesser virtue will cling to their virtue, which means that a person who has a low virtue or no virtue, when he does little good deeds, he hopes to be rewarded, and he hopes to have a good reputation because of what he has done.
过来刷落去这句咧，讲执着之者不明道德，执着之者不明道德。就是说讲定定在要执着伫遐在意别人到底知影。还是唔知影你是有道德、有善名的人，就在意安尼的人咧，即款的人咧，伊就是唔是真正明白，唔是真正了解什么叫做道德。真个有道德的人，伊袂在意别人有知影伊有道德啊无道德，无在意别人知影伊有做好代还是无做好代。
And next, those who cling and attach to virtue do not understand the true meaning and nature of virtue. They will always be obsessed and will give importance about whether other people will know that they are a person with morality and a person with good reputation. They will always give importance to whether what they have done will be given something in return. In doing so, it means that they do not really understand the meaning of morality.
来下一张投影片咱来看下一句咱来知影这个要甲咱讲咱物质生活咧我们在物质生活里面，咱来学晓知足。
Here, we talk about contentment, that it says that we should learn to be contented with all the material things that we have in our life.
那么道德咧，在道德修养这方面，他要学习做道德咧，要学习有道德，要学习有修养咧，咱来定定知影家己不足无够。
On the other hand, when it comes to morality and self-restraint, it is very important that one should know that there actually is inadequacy, and we should know that we should always know that there is insufficiency in our morality and virtue.
许我搁重复一摆伫个物质生活顶悬，咱来学晓知足，学晓 satisfy。伫个迄个道德修养伫修道顶悬诶，咱来知影咱无够，not enough。
So to repeat,
不够。
So to repeat, it says that we have to be contented and we should know how to be satisfied with all the material things that we have in our life. And on the other hand, when it comes to morality and virtue, we should know that there is always insufficiency within us, that there will never be enough for us to learn.
在物质生活顶悬咧咱是永远就是比上不足，比下有余。比顶悬的人较无够，但是比上下人咱继续做咯。
So in material life, we should know that we are much more. We have much more than those who we are not sufficient when we are comparing ourselves to those who are rich or super rich. But when we compare ourselves to the poor people, we should know that we have more than enough.
那么道德道德伊在德行方面咧咱来知影，咱永远就是甲别人无法度人比拼咱永远就是凭迄寡真贤大德，凭迄寡真人点传书啦，是讲迄寡善妇，咱永远就是无法度到伊个境界。咱有即款的心的时阵，咱才会拍拼踮咧道德甲修养顶悬去下功夫。
And when it comes to morality and virtue, we should know that we can never learn enough, because comparing ourselves to our seniors and to the saints and sages, we may know that we have only very little moral that we have, and comparing to them, we will never have enough of what we already have. So we have to strive to learn and to improve ourselves in this aspect.
过来咱来知影知止，爱知影讲爱停喺倒位啊，爱知影讲咱定定爱甲咱迄个心念咧停伫咧上好至善，搁上真上 true 一点，就是讲咱的天官、咱的良心、咱的本性呀。
So 知止, as a cultivator, we should know when and where to stop. One must know to stop on the point of the ultimate truth and the ultimate goodness.
讲到这，许我就想到许我甲蔡真贵一个故事。
So when this topic is mentioned, our Tian Chuan Sư will always remember a story about her and her father, our Tsai Qianpei.
那1988年迄个小母导医去调底的时阵小母迄个导医要去楼顶迄个楼梯迄个茶咧，是一个四路的道亲行宫奉献的。
So in 1988, it was the time when our Cebu temple was in construction, and during that time there was a Taoqing, Mr. Lu, who donated some wood for the use of making the stairway handle.
迄个茶是足好的茶迄个迄个楼梯 handle 做完以后，佫剩一寡茶 前辈就去我查，甲伊创一寡迄个插布伫遐，去导应用。
So the wood that Mr. Lu has donated were all good wood. So after the stair handle was completed, the construction was finished, there were still extra wood left. And our Tsai Tianpei took those leftover wood and made them into chopping boards.
一点仔都无去做拖，对于我村的了落去做迄个插布的菜店。
No, he never wasted any part of the wood. He took them all and cut them into chopping boards.
迄年的迄个 Christmas New Year 时阵吼，阮规家吼去迄个叔母甲前辈做伙过年啦吼，像我伫咧灶骹斗相战的时阵吼，踮咧切咧迄个切菜哦，感觉哦，迄个菜店足好诶，袂叮当嘛，伊是足长诶柴，佫伊足厚诶，切的时阵佫切，什么款喙吧，迄个店就是袂叮当，袂走来走去。 哇，像我足爱迄个菜店。
So it was the Christmas and New Year of 1988, and our Tsai Tian-chuan with her whole family went to Cebu to spend the holidays with Tsai Tianpei. And during that time, in the kitchen, our Tsai Tian-chuan discovered that the chopping board that our Tsai Tianpei made from those extra woods were all really good chopping boards, because no matter how they chop or what they are chopping, it will never move. So our Tsai Tian-chuan really likes those chopping boards.
几啊块吧，有几啊块插布，我就甲前辈讲，爸，你会用一块互我无？我早转来马尼拉迄个学堂用。
So our Tsai Tian-chuan told her father, is it okay if I will bring one of those chopping boards back to Manila to use in our Manila temple?
为了迄个菜店哦，我互前辈骂规下晡，一直伫到饱骂到以暗，骂规下晡，伫敬人的面头前骂规下晡。
And just because of that piece of chopping board that our Tsai Tian-chuan was asking from her father, she was scolded for the whole afternoon in front of all other Taoqing.
我迄阵最艰苦，感觉家己拢无民主啊！伫遐侪人面头前，互人骂甲，为了迄个菜店，互人骂甲。
So our Tsai Tian-chuan felt so ashamed that just because of a piece of chopping board, she was scolded in front of everybody.
结果伊骂一大堆话的时阵，遐记到伊三句话啦。伊讲哪呢？逐项要滴，你目睭敢若贼仔咧。
So of all those that Tsai Tianpei was scolding, Tsai Tian-chuan remembered what he said was that you really wanted to have everything. Your eyes are like thieves.
头一个，互我印象就即句啦。佮第二个印象就是讲，咱做人啊，咱做人就是定吼，爱手向下骹互人物件，唔通安尼手向顶悬甲人讨物件。
And number two, what our Tsai Tian-chuan remembered of those so many scoldings that she received. Number two was that our hands as a human, we should always have our palms facing down, because that means we are giving. We should never have our palms facing up, because that means asking something from others.
第三个学校学到咧，因为这菜店学校学到什么啊咧？ 咱若互前辈者骂甲安尼真正歹势时阵吼，咱若敢若顾民主啦，无甲迄个话扣起来咧，安尼咱都无未来啊啦。
So number three that really set in the mind of our Tsai Tian-chuan was that whenever we are being scolded by our seniors or our parents, we should always listen to what they are saying, and we should pick up the lecture from what we were scolded of, because if we only want to save our face because of shame and not really listen to the lecture or to what was told to us, we will never improve, and there will be no more future for us.
咱若会晓讲，互骂袂晓歹势袂要紧，互人写民主袂要紧，咱甲迄个物件甲扣起来的时阵，落去日常生活去修行的时阵，安尼咱就有未来。
And if we may know how to take the important points of the scoldings from our seniors and put them into our daily life and put them into action, then we will improve and we may have a good future.
所以吼，每一摆若看到菜店，就想到前辈甲我，互我迄个教示，互我迄个吼，足好一个经验，我就定定扣伫心肝内底，定定都爱提起家己，咱来安分守己，毋是咱的物件，毋通起心动念。
So our Tian Chuan Si's experience tells her, and she is telling us also that whenever we are being lectured or scolded, we should not just listen to them and feel that we are so ashamed because we are scolded. We should take it as an advice and pick up from that experience so that we may know that just like the story of the chopping board, whatever we see, we should not have a heart that we want to have everything. We want to own everything that we like.
所以每一摆后，我等去甲迄个小姑吼呐，看迄个咧去楼顶看到迄个迄个显导的时阵，我就想到即个菜店的代志，就觉得真欢喜、真感恩吼，感恩当时咧前辈甲我扇一个嘴皮。
So whenever a Tian Chuan Si goes to Cebu, and when she holds on the stairway handle, she will always remember this story about the chopping board. And she was so happy that Tsai Tianpei was able to give her that lecture, and that she was so thankful that Tsai Tianpei was able to somewhat put her to shame, but it was a great lecture and some great things that she has learned from him.
伊甲扇一嘴皮啦，我才发觉讲家己到底偌济甲偌济了。
And because of the shame that she received from her father, she realized that how much she really has.
毋是伊甲我正扇嘴皮啦，是伊讲的迄几句话，敢若扇嘴皮，伊无甲我扇嘴皮。
So actually, Tsai Tianpei did not slap the face of Tian Chuan Si, but it means that those words somewhat slapped on her face and made her realize what she should do and what she should not do.
这就是咱爱感恩，就甲前辈讲，可能伊时阵甲咱讲的话较咸，还是较甜，吼，咱会晓甲包起来，会晓甲学习起来。
So maybe sometimes our seniors will talk to us and in a very strict manner, or maybe the words may be somewhat salty. We should not take it as it is. We should take them as advices so that we may improve.
安尼咱才有法度甲咱迄个，甲咱的迄个心吼，停伫迄个上好啊，甲上真的迄个点顶管。
If we can do so, then we can learn and know when and where to stop our heart and our mind on the point of the ultimate truth and ultimate goodness.
咱的生活才有做一个改变，咱的生命才会做一个改善。
And with that, our life and our life here on earth may have changes and improvements.
下一章，咱来讲下一句，伊讲吼，众生所以不得真道者，唯有妄心。讲众生所以不得真道者，唯有妄心。伊讲一般的原因呢，为什么得袂到真道咧？因为咱的迄个妄心。
So the sentient beings fail to acquire the true Tao because they are affected by their delusion or their deviant and uncontrolled minds. So why ordinary people cannot obtain the realm of the true Tao? Because there is that misleading thought within them.
什么叫做妄心呢？这个妄字就是讲希望无实，妄就是无存在，无存在的物件你甲当作存在，无的物件你甲当作有，还是讲一个贪妄的心，还是再讲一个不自量力的心，无实在的心，这拢总叫做妄心。
So what are the misleading mind? Misleading means being absurd. It is unreality, absurd as it doesn't exist, but people will feel that it really exists. The greedy mind is an arrogant mind. It is an unreal mind. All of these are called misleading thoughts.
咱即讲吼，人贵自低，低人老子说讲吼，低人假地，自低假别。我咱人吼做人吼，上紧要紧就是爱家己了解家己，咱到底有几斤有几两。
So as Lao Tzu has said, each of us, we need to know and understand ourselves. We should know how much we weigh and what we really are and what and who we really are.
道德经内面老子说讲吼，知影人的人吼，会明白人，会了解别人的人，这款人是有智慧。那么会了解家己，知影家己的人，这款人就是明，真光明，真正明白。
So in Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu said, those who know thyself are the ones who have great wisdom, and those who knows themselves is the enlightened one.
比如说哦，咱大家人嘛真爱大地厝啊，华夏豪宅，大家人拢爱。不过咱有想到无？迄间厝若吼咱，迄间厝迄个维修费用啦，迄个水电的费用啊，咱负担得起无？
So each and every one of us, we are sure that we all love to own a big mansion. But have we ever thought that as we own a big mansion, how about the maintenance cost of that big house? How about every expenses that comes with it? Can we afford it also?
个你有法度请侪人来摒扫？
And can we also afford to have so many helpers just to clean the house and the surroundings?
检查哦，咱咁要维持咧收水池的费用，就互咱会心惊肉跳，心肝泡泡菜。
And when there is a swimming pool within your mansion, just only the maintenance cost of that swimming pool will have our hearts shudder.
所以咱讲自知者明啊，咱要知影咱家己有几斤几两。
So we have to know ourselves and to understand how much we can afford.
所以做人一定要实在，要做一个实在的人。
So we need to be, as a person, we need to be down to earth and be a real person.
实在人伊内心一定爱实在啦。
Because a real person, when a person is a real person within his heart, he must know that he should be down to earth and have that mindset of being down to earth.
对咱的内心开始咧，就要安分守己啊，唔通空思妄想。咱内心若有妄想的时阵呢，敢若亲像一尾蛇想要食只大象，安尼咱会有足侪烦恼产生出来。
So we must be a person that has a down-to-earth mindset in order for us to stay in the proper sphere. That we must start within our inner heart and do not have misleading mindset. Because when there is a misleading thought in our heart, it will be like a snake who is trying to swallow a big elephant. This can be the source of endless trouble.
下一章，有啥物好犯咧？就是讲，既然有迄个妄心的，就会惊迄个神吼。既有妄心，即惊其神，是讲用国语念叫做既有妄心，即惊其神。后壁所说就是什么款的好犯咯。
So what will be the unpleasant effects of that? Since one possesses the divine and uncontrolled mind, the spirit will be startled.
即句话意思就是讲，人若有即款的希望无失的心的时阵啊，即个希望无失的心，就会去惊动着咱迄个原神本性，咱的原神本性就会缺失。
So the meaning of this sentence is that once a person has this unreality in his heart, it will arouse one's primordial spirit. And once the primordial spirit is disturbed, it will cease to exist.
咱会知影，人是三项物件，3 in 13项物件合做伙，有这个本性，有这个人心，甲有这个人的身躯，这3项组成的。这个性呢，就是咱的本性原性；心就是咱的心念想法；身就是咱的身躯肉身，缺7项都无用的。
So, as a human being, we are made up of the Trinity that consists of the 3 elements: the nature or the spirit, the mind, and the body. The nature is the primordial spirit. The mindful thoughts is the assistant, and then the physical body is the worker.
但是这3项物件呢，伊排列顺序无得凊彩排头一个呢，第一 number 1排在上要紧的位是本性原性，伊叫做君位国王的位。
So these 3 that consisted of the Trinity of a human must be in their proper order. Number 1 should be the nature because it serves as the master.
第2个就是咱的心念、咱的想法，这是一个辅助的位置assistant 的位置，叫做臣位。
Number 2 is our mindful thought. It will be considered as the assistant or the helper.
那么咱的肉身、咱的身躯和咱的骹手这挂咧，目睭眼耳鼻舌身这挂咧是排在第3位的等于是咱的工人也叫做奴位。
So the number 3 is the physical body that consisted of our eyes, nose, ears, our hands, and our feet. They are the ones who are working. They are considered as the worker.
所以应该是咱本性是真主人心念想法是助理，身躯是替咱做代志的工人。
So the nature should the primordial spirit should be the master, and the mind should be the one that is helping the master, while the physical body is the one who puts out the work.
所以做任何代志的决定者是迄个原神本性，迄个助理的是迄个咱的肉身，迄个出咱的呢是迄个咱的身躯。
So whenever we do anything, the one that should decide must be the master or our primordial spirit, and then our mind should be the one who assists, and the one that puts out the work of what we want to be done should be our physical body.
所以迄古圣先贤古早的神父甲咱用一个坐马车来做一个譬如讲，这个信心生是安怎？
So our ancient saints and sages used the analogy of riding in the carriage to make an example of the Trinity of the human body.
下一张，下一张。咱这个原神本性是主人，坐这顶马车要去倒业，要做什么代志的？是这个原神本性的发号命令的。迄个心念想法是迄个看这顶马车的迄个车头司机，伊帮你开车开到你要去迄个所在。那么迄个身躯咧，咱迄个肉身就敢若迄只马，伊推你行到迄位，甲你换到遐去，帮你走到遐去。
So the primordial spirit as the master, and whenever one wants wherever one wants to do something, it is the primordial spirit that will give the order, and the mind will be the driver, that he is the one who will move, while it and helps to drive what we want to be done to help us go and to reach the destination, and the body is the horse.
咱拄仔讲意有忘心，急神嘛，一有忘心，即急神，就是讲咱这个忘心就是咱迄个助理无听话啦，也是讲迄只马无听话啦，伊是要做主人。
So as we have mentioned a while ago, that when we have a misleading thought. This misleading thought is that your body, your assistant, your mind doesn't want to obey the master anymore, and he wants to have to play a role of the master.
这个时阵哦，本来安安稳稳的迄个本性完全就去受到惊动，用这个惊用到就好。
So by this time, when the mind doesn't want to listen to the master, the originally stable primordial spirit will be frightened, and the word frightened is used very properly.
一定关系呢，就是咱的恰住之心哦。咱拢有饲过囡仔，拢知影哦。咱囡仔若拍青惊的时阵哦，拢会吐冷闹青屎。
So during this time, when the primordial spirit is frightened or is disturbed, the primordial spirit is just like a child. Any one of us who has taken care of a little baby will know that whenever the child is scared or is frightened, he will vomit and he will also have loose bowel.
就是讲这个囡仔吼的原神哦，无伫遐咯走去啊，所以咱才会讲有这个妄心的时阵哦，就敢若迄个囡仔共款去拍青惊，去拍青惊着迄个迄个赤子之心去拍青惊着迄个原神本性。
So the primordial spirit, since it is already frightened, it will no longer be present. It will be absent. That is why we say that when the primordial spirit is frightened, it will be absent.
安尼我搁算落去，伊说既经其神，即着万物吼；既经其神，即着万物。就是讲，咱的原神本性去用拍青惊咯，吼，即个眼耳鼻舌身意，哈，是讲色声香味触法，伊就来抢即个主人的位咯。
So it is said that when the deviant and the misleading thoughts arise, the spirit will be startled. Since the spirit is startled or frightened, they may start to cling to all material things. And when the primordial spirit is disturbed, the eyes, nose, ears, tongue, body, form, sound, scent, and touch will take its position as the master. It will be obsessed with the things that attracts people.
下一章，这个时阵哦，就会去安怎呢？就会去接触伫个外口迄寡去引伊的迄寡物件，袂去注重伊的内在，敢若会去用外口去看迄个，去找迄个，敢若参日拄啊，迄我看到迄个菜帮足爱同款，迄个菜店足爱同款。
So desire will come up and it gives importance to the attractive material things from the outside. Since they are already obsessed with the attracted things, they will not focus on their inner heart. Just like our Tian Chuan Si, when she saw a very nice and sturdy chopping board, she is attracted to it and she wants to own it.
过来刷落去咧，伊说。既着万物，即生贪求，即着万物，即心贪求。就像咱目睭咧，日本咧，去哦，也是讲迄眼耳鼻舌身，即款物件，去哦万物吸引着咯。即个时阵咧，咱就生出这个贪求、贪心来咯。像讲即款物件。即款物件引诱啦，就是讲这个物件啦，我若有毋知偌好，你敢知？这是个积着万物，即生贪求。
So they will be focused on looking for the different attractive materials from the external environment, and we will want to look for this and look for that. We will want to have this and have that. Since they cling to the different material things, the desire to own these things starts to arise. The 6 organs, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind are tempted by the various external attractions. Thoughts like, it would be great if I can have this. It would be how nice it is if I can own that. They will all arise, and as as soon as we are attracted to them.
即款的贪念啦、要求啦，生出来以后咧，就是刷落去即句吼，一心贪求即是烦恼，既生贪求即是烦恼。讲这贪求的心若生出来咧，那么烦恼咧、trouble 咧就对来啊。
So the covetousness is generated, then there comes vexation. Once greed arises, vexation will surely follow.
烦恼什么叫做烦恼咧？咱有爱这项物件，咱想要求这项物件，求袂到，咱讲人生有八大苦嘛，一项就是求不得苦嘛。有贪求个求袂到，咱就会苦咯。有因自胜，那嘛就苦咯。迄个欲望很深，那就足苦诶。摕袂到，咱就真苦咯。
So why will vexation happen? Vexation, which means worries, because it is very bitter and very sad when greed arises, but one is not able to obtain what he wanted. So suffering from the flourishing of the five skandhas, which is also bitter and sad. So the five skandhas are form, sensation, perception, mental formation, and consciousness.
那么求到了就无苦无一定哦，有时阵求到了更加苦。
While when you are able to get what you have wanted, is there no more suffering? Sometimes you will suffer even more for having something that you have asked for.
譬如咱拄仔讲迄个大地厝啦，咱就知咱本来细地厝最好过日子的一个大地厝，逐项问题拢来咯。这烦恼品求到了，求互你得到大地厝咯，你求到啊，后壁迄个烦恼一大堆咯。
So as we have mentioned a while ago, if we already own a mansion that we wanted, we have to worry about the bill on the water, electricity, and if we have a swimming pool, we have to worry about its maintenance fee, and worries or vexation will be even more than during the time when you did not own that mansion.
大家拢真爱真希望去买迄个乐透，看乐透会让人得到几千万几亿无。
So everyone loves to buy lotto because we can win millions from it.
我有捌看过负长内面不倒顶有人囥伊买迄个乐透，希望讲前路保庇会当中奖。
So our Tianchuansi has observed that sometimes on the table, on the altar of our temple, somebody will put their lotto ticket on it, hoping that they will win because of their numbers that they have selected.
但是呢，真正侥幸哦，咱中着奖的时阵呢，是毋是都无烦恼啊？是毋是都更加有钱啊？无一定。
But do you think that those who won the lotto have lesser vexation or lesser worries and more money? Not really.
真侪人得到乐透奖的时阵哦，朋友也无去啊啦，亲情也无去啊啦。
So most people, when they win the lotto, they will even lose their friends and even lost their relatives.
安怎咧？但要该借钱唔借伊啊，拍歹感情，有钱以后，迄个友情也没有了啦，亲情也没有了啦，爱情也没有了啦。
So why will you lost your friends and relatives? Because when people hear that you have won a large amount of money from lotto, they will come and want to ask from you or to borrow from you. By the time that you say no to them, there will no longer be any friendship or any other feelings that will be considered. They will only fight and they will not like you anymore.
有的人嘛中奖以后咧，去互人抢去，甚至有咧性命的危险，所以中奖以后咧烦恼更加多。
And there are also people that after winning the lotto, they will have people coming to rob them or to treat them with fear so that they will give up the money. That is why winning the lotto will give you much more worry than when you did not win.
到尾啊，咱就会了解讲，迄侥幸来的钱咧，来了真紧咧，啊去嘛真紧，真侪吼中着落倒的人，到尾啊嘛拢毋是好嘢人。有的
So
人
we
经济凭袂中奖以前搁较善吃，凭迄个
So-
袂好以前搁较善吃。
That is why we should understand that fortune comes by chance are not really good money. Money that we win in the lottery is an easy come, easy go money. Sometimes after winning the lotto, people will be even poorer than before when they have won the lotto.
啊，明白即个道理的人，伊若中着奖了，拢规气摕去做慈善，摕去做公益。
So those who can understand this, when they win money from lotto, they will just give them out as charity.
下一章。所以咱讲讲煞落去吼，烦恼妄想忧苦身心，便遭着入流浪生死，常成苦，永失真道。吼，这几句是相念的啦。吼，用咱人话念就是即讲烦恼妄想忧苦身心，便遭着入流浪生死，常成苦海，永失真道。
Fixation and deviant thought will trouble and pester our body and mind. They will cause us to fall into turbidity and shame, and then we will be trapped in the cycle of birth and death, drowning in the sea of suffering eternally, and we will lose the true Tao forever.
这个忧苦咧，就是讲忧愁苦恼，着入就是讲这个阿占啦。 这个耻辱啦，侮辱。咱记得咱的心灵内面本来应该是清气的，咱即摆有即寡邪思妄想的烦恼咧，就会带来种种忧愁的痛苦，来扰乱咱的身心，互咱去做错误的行为，做唔对的行为，来侮辱到咱的灵性。咱的灵性阿占去以后咧。 咱就流浪伫个生死的轮回内底，咱就伫个即个茫茫苦海内面沉落伫个遐，永远失去了正的大道。
The sorrow is grief and vexation, while humiliation is filth and disgrace or shame. Our mind, which should have been very clear and clean, but because of the evil thoughts and the erroneous thoughts in the soul, it will bring sufferings of grief. It will disturb one's body and mind and will commit wrong actions. It will humiliate one's spirituality, wonder and make it wander within the reincarnation of the cycle of birth and death, and be afloat into the vast sea of misery and be forever apart from the realm of the true Tao.
咱来的时阵一条路啊，尔对真道遐来一条路啊，尔，但是咱转去哦，咱过身咯，无对对转去迄条路啦，有6条路哟，来，互咱轮回啦。
So, as a person, when we come to this world, there is only one way of how we come to this world. But when we leave, we may depart in 6 different ways in the 6 realms of reincarnation.
这个6条路，这6道轮回叫做天道、人道、阿修罗道、铁生道、五鬼道甲地狱道。
And the 6 realms of reincarnation are the celestial realm, the human realm, the asura realm, the animal realm, the hungry ghost realm, and the hell realm.
今仔点钟的原因，咱无搁讲啊修深去啊，无搁讲啊真详细啊。咱以一个例来简单做一个解说。
So because of time constraint, we will not discuss this very vividly, while instead we will have a story to discuss this.
那么有一个70几年前有一个台湾有一个爱做地理做真大的生意人。
So before there was a businessman who was into the business of selling tea leaves.
那么这个卖地理这个生意人有一个兴趣，就是讲 已經有行期，咱人知啦。
It happened 60 to 70 years ago, and this businessman who sells tea leaf loves to play chess.
嗱，伊即個咱人知吼，真有行，差不多無啥有人通好贏伊啦，伊就是贏就對咯啦。
And he was very good at playing the Chinese chess that there is only very seldom that any other person can win over him.
那麼有一個人吼，有一個人聽講哦，即個第二生意人真有行棋吼，有一個人吼，專工來個拜訪你，講聽你真有行棋，無咱兩來行棋看覓無，行一局看覓。
So since he was very popular because of his skill in playing the Chinese chess, he was well known because of that. And one day, a person came to him and said that I know that you are very good in playing chess, so why not let us play a game of it?
即個人就講好啊，咱來行看覓啊，一個行一個，即個人誒，迄個程度吼，差不多，行到足趣味誒。
So the businessman agreed, and then they started to play. And as they are playing, they discovered that both of them have somewhat the same level of in playing the Chinese chess.
迄程度差不多，行到真正趣味誒，愈行愈愛行，愈行愈興趣吼。所以即個來找即個人吼，從迄天開始，就是每一天誒下晡就從迄個點鐘來找即個人做伙行棋。
So since they are both at the same level of sharpness in playing the chess, they were very happy with their experience in playing chess. So that person who came to invite him to play chess will come every afternoon, and then both of them will start to play chess every day.
安尼行，即久個以後，即兩人就變有迄個做朋友啊，有迄友情啊，變咗好朋友啊，行棋的好朋友，就定來會開講。有一天，即個賣茶米就問即個吼，即個甲伊做伙行棋，即個人講你學創啥？伊才甲伊應講，我佇咧下骹做看工，你唔通凊彩甲人說啊。
So as they were playing, since they have been playing for quite some time already, and they have been treating each other as friends, so the businessman started to wonder what this man and who he is. So he started to ask him and wanted to know about his job. So the man told him that I will tell you, I am a judge from hell, but you are the only person that I am telling this. Do not let anybody know about my job.
即個人是一個真有身份的人，看就是真有身份的一個人啦，吼。那麼迄個有一天吼，伊即個行棋行到咧，伊要調底的時陣吼，下骹有人來叫即個人講，下骹有代志，你要登去看代志咯。
So they kept on playing every afternoon, and one day, while they were playing, somebody called the judge from hell and told him that he has to go back down because there were cases for him to solve.
即個賣生理，即個賣茶米，即個好奇啦，就問講，你落去下骹去創代志，你會用帶我去無？我來去看覓咧參觀好無？
So after hearing that his friend is going back to hell, he wanted and told his friend that he wanted to go with him so that he may go and see how hell really looks like.
即個甲伊行棋，即個人就講會出你啦，毋過我若甲你落去，你會點管會困去啦，你甲我落去袂要緊，毋過你去到下骹，你要乖乖聽我的話，毋通七走八走，定坐遐毋通叮當。
So the judge agreed that he will bring his friend down to hell, but he said that when you go down with me, your body will be just like sleeping here on earth. And when you go down with me to hell, do not say anything and do not look around. Just sit there quietly and just observe.
即個人怎對即個賣茶米，即個生理人，他對即個判官落去到下骹咯，頭開始緊真乖，攏無叮當坐佇遐。
So he really went with him down to hell, and at the beginning he was really listening to the instruction of the judge, that he was just sitting down very quietly, just observing the surroundings without
所以
moving.
这个判官就去无伊的代志啊。
So the judge went to deal with his business.
那会知影过无偌久咧？过20仔久咧，有人去说讲啊，咱来看遐一个女的，就水的，一个美女啊，好漂亮哦。
But unfortunately, after a while, the businessman heard somebody shouting that let's go, let us go and see, because there were beautiful ladies there for us to see.
你这个卖地理这个人哦，实在是大行好啦，敢若爱看水女的，爱看美女。听到这句话咧，怎要去看迄个女的到底有偌水？
The businessman really had good character. He was good in everything except for the fact that he also wants to see beautiful ladies. So after hearing somebody telling them that there were beautiful ladies for them to see, he wanted to go also with them to see that beautiful ladies.
结果伊怎听起来，怎向头前行几步啊？这个判官看到，紧甲伊掠转来，紧甲扭转来。
So he wanted to go with the voice, and he started to stand up and wanted to go out. But when the judge saw that his friend is trying to go out, he hurried and pulled him back.
甲扭了转来吼，扭转来啊，就伊转来到顶悬，伊就醒咯，就精神啊。
So when he was pulled back, his body here on earth is already awakened.
啊，一个看咧，家己正手的枕头啊，第2支甲第3支，第4支甲第5支，我连做伙，4支枕头啊比甲咱2支枕头啊。
So when he wake up from the dream, he discovered that he has a different hand already, that his pointer finger and middle finger were stick together, and his ring finger and his small finger will stick together.
那么大拇指向后边，跳向后边。
And his thumb is facing out backwards.
反正伊就问迄个判官，我的手哪会变安尼啊？
And so he went to ask his judge friend and asked him, why is it that after I went with you to hell, and when I come back, my hand is already in another form?
这个判官就甲伊说啊，讲，哎呀，你就是好色啦，爱看水女啊，你差一点啊，你就变做一只猪咯啦。
So the judge explained to him it was because that you want to look at beautiful girls. So if had I not pulled you back, you would have become a pig.
你看卖迄个《西游记》内面那猪八戒啊、猪八戒啊，伊就是爱看女的啊，爱看水女的。你看伊迄面是猪面，伊身躯是咱人的身躯。
So he said that have you observed from the story of the journey to the west, that the pig there, the Tupatye there, is a pig. He has a face of a pig and a body of a human.
所以咱的心一定要了解，或者有咱空思妄想，啊，无因为迄个好色吼，应该咱家己每一个人爱守咱的本分，袂这个希望，袂这个无实在。
So that explains that as a human, we must not have greed. We must not greed for money or any other undesirable things. We should know what we have and be contented with what we have.
啊，无咱就会上沉苦海，因失尽道。
And if not, then we will be remain in the reincarnation cycle of birth and death, and forever be afloat into the vast sea of misery.
好，下一章。好，所以最后一句做一个结论咯，哈，讲真常之道，误者自得，得误道者上清净义。好，真常之道，悟者自得，得悟道者常清净义。讲这个做一个结论啦，讲这个真实不虚，啊个无变的大道理。如果咱来会当体悟，啊照安落去做，咱就有法度常常保持咱身躯甲咱的心的清净，啊照这个天地万物 运行的规则，咱的身躯甲咱的心自然的空明舒坦。
So next is the true and permanent Tao can only be acquired by those who have reached enlightenment. Those who have acquired the Tao and attained enlightenment will forever rest in the state of purity and tranquility. In short, this great Tao is absolutely real and unchanging. If we realize and follow it, our body and mind can always remain free from all impurity and will be tranquil. By following the rules of the movement of heaven and earth, our body and mind will naturally be ethereal and comfortable.
咱伫生活内，生活中啊咧，咱来家己认清认清咱的欲望的由来是安怎咱来甲迄个咱的心思爱甲伊停静，分清楚咧，什么是咱需要的，什么是咱想要爱的，爱甲分得真清楚。咱唔通做物质的奴隶，咱来做物质的主人。
So we should understand that in our life, we should know the origin of desire in our life, the clarity of the state of our mind, and distinguish between need and want. Do not be a slave of material things. We should instead be the master of these material things.
咱的清心寡欲互自然，咱就心清气宁，身心自在。
So be a person who have clean heart and limit one's desire. It will naturally be able to feel at ease in our body and mind.
咱有法度讲着道的真理，就法度出脱欲望烦恼、生死苦海，找转来咱本来清净灵明的迄个生活的迄个面貌。
By realizing the true meaning of Tao, one can escape from the sea of suffering of desires and vexation and retrieve from the original peaceful and bright appearance of life.
下一章，所以咱许发简单做一个结论咱的人生需要加减定度。
So as a conclusion, our life should be like the basic mathematical operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
宽心爱甲伊加，痴心爱甲伊减，爱心爱甲伊停，贪心爱甲伊除。
So broad-mindedness should be added, where infatuation should be lessened or subtracted. Love should be multiplied, while greed should be gotten rid of.
志气爱甲伊加，随气爱甲伊减，静气爱甲伊停，数气爱甲伊除。
So aspiration should be added, while mood should subtract, where energy should be multiplied, while we should get rid of our hot temper and impatientness.
自信爱甲伊加，自私爱甲伊减，自律爱甲伊行，自卑爱甲伊除。
Self-confidence should be added, while selfishness should be subtracted. Self-discipline should be multiplied, while we should get rid of our self-esteem.
微笑咧爱甲伊加，忧郁咧爱甲伊减，感恩爱甲伊停，怨恨咧爱甲伊除。
We should add smile, while we should subtract our depression. Gratitude should be multiplied, while we should get rid of our resentments.
下一章，这就是咱今仔日读这个《太上清净经》规篇咧，老师甲咱讲道甲清净的方法。
So since the ancient times, Lao Tzu here is telling us the meaning of Tao and how to be still and be still and tranquil.
不过咧，咱这道若无运用伫咱的生命内底，咱的生活内底，这个道理嘛，敢若一个理啊尔，根本对咱无动用。
But if we cannot use the real meaning of Tao in our life, the word Tao is just a character without meaning.
咱应该会照咱中人真人吼，中老真人甲咱教示的，系老实合道。
So we should follow our 长老前人 that we should be cultivate very sincerely.
咱自古以来，吼修行的人咧，就是将这个道咧，甲伊融化伫咱的心窝内底，老老实实修行。
So since ancient times, cultivators have integrated the Tao into the daily life and conscientiously in their cultivation.
哎，老是食饭，吼，老是困，老是行路，老是讲道理，老是听道理，叮叮叮叮。
Such as eating honestly, sleeping, walking, preaching honestly and sincerely, listening to lectures sincerely, etc.
啊，坐的时阵吼，有一个修道人的坐相；行的时阵有一个修道人迄个行迄个仪态。安尼时阵，咱安尼无梦、无想、无我，咱就足群道咯。
So we should carry ourselves gracefully, knowing how to sit properly, how to perform the duties properly, should have no dreams, have no face, and without oneself, knowing what comes first and after takes one closer, it will take one closer to Tao.
下一章，好，下一章，好，咱这太上清净经讲到今仔日已经讲到底啦。
So we have finished discussion of the meaning of the scripture of constant purity and tranquility.
啊，内面关于迄个无极、太极、阴阳两仪、四象八卦，也是多生一，一生二，二生三，三生万物。吼，因为时间的关系，无法度啊，甲晓法智慧不足，吼，才可能讲了无够完满，可能检测还佫有人听无。
So on the part of the Wuji, that forms an embryonic Tai Chi. The two opposing forces manifest the Liang Yi, namely Yin and Yang. They produce our phenomena, Si Xiang, and the four phenomena generates the 8 trigrams. That Tao produce 1, and 1 produce 2, 2 produce 3, and 3 produce everything. In this portion, our Tranquility says that she might not be have fully explained all of this, but because of the lack of time, and also because of her wisdom might not be enough to discuss it very well, it may happen that some of us may not still have understood it very well.
所以吼，踮咧遮吼，爱请吼太上老君甲诸天神父慈悲下罪。
So here, Tranquility wants to ask the forgiveness of Taisang Laochun and all the Buddhas and the saints for forgiving, for forgiveness for anything said wrong.
啊，毋过咱逐个拜礼的时阵呢，一直读吧，吼，咱爱豆豆读，一定有一天咱会体会。
But as we go along with our reading of the passages of the scripture and the others of the sutras, we will ultimately understand the real meaning of the different passages.
啊，最后咧，祝各位道亲大家身体健康，欢喜充满，啊，平安，平安就是福。
So lastly, I wish everybody will have a healthy and well body and mind, and that everyone's spirit will be filled with Dharma joy, that we should know that it is already a blessing to be safe.
啊，咱今仔日就讲到这，啊，祝各位道亲晚安。
Our discussion will end here. We wish everybody good night.